Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the NWSL presented by Ally. We're coming to you live from Sports Illustrated Stadium just outside New York City on the final day before the international break at the end of week 10 of the NWSL. It's the defending champions Gotham FC hosting the Houston Dash. And this is how it all looks right now. Gotham aiming to move up to 5th today, and Houston aiming to join them in the playoff places. Hello, everyone. I'm Jackie Oatley alongside the birthday girl, Jordan Angeli. It's a big one as well, I'm not telling. Happy birthday, Jordan. Great to see you. And we'll
Place I'd rather be than right with you.
That's right. And you. Now, we are looking forward to this one. Gotham FC had a really tough time recently, haven't they? They've been in Mexico for the CONCACAF W Champions Cup. Looked unrecognisable in that tournament, but they're back at home today. And then we've got Houston Dash, who hadn't won for 6 games, but then won very late on against Angel City. So what are we expecting here?
Well, I think if you look at the core identities of both these teams, Jackie, they are high-pressing teams. They want to turn their opponents over as high up the field, try to win the ball back.
Play might have gone through a certain 21-year-old on the US women's national team. Oh, Jaden Shaw, there she is. She scored in her last 3 straight regular season games. But what does she bring to this Gotham side?
Well, right at this moment, Jackie, she brings confidence, and that's exactly what you want from Jaden Shaw. She looks like she's found her home here at Gotham because she's been kind of around the league a little bit in just her young career. But one of the things you want with a player like this, who's super creative, is you want to give her the canvas and let her paint. And I feel like Juan Carlos Amaros has given her the freedom of to start wide, to pop inside, so you can be in these goal scoring areas, but also she still has the ability to be the playmaker through the lines. And when she feels like herself, when she feels free, she often pops up the big spot and scores big goals.
So she's a talented player in an otherwise experienced side, but for Houston, it's pretty much all about the youth, isn't it? 12 of their 14 goals this season scored by players aged 24 years or younger, and leading the way, this rookie, Pat Raider, who scored in back-to-back matches.
These young players at Houston are really setting the tone for the intensity that they can play with. And I think when you're looking at Kat Raider, she has this mentality that is very youthful about her because she counts on herself in every situation in the attacking third. And that's exactly what you want. She's good in the pocket, on the half turn, very creative when she gets inside the box. And more than anything, Jackie, this Houston squad has needed a player who is willing to bear the burden of being the goal scorer. And she has been that. Just in her rookie year, she's already looks great. I think there's so much more to come for this young rookie.
Well, she is in the starting lineup. We're looking forward to seeing her. We will have the lineups and kickoff on the other side of the break for Gotham FC against Houston Dash. You're watching. To finish before the break with a victory. Our referee today is Joshua Encarnacion in the sunshine of New Jersey. A real mixture of youth and experience in the starting lineups today. And it is the meanest defence in the league of Gotham FC against the youthful vitality with energy to burn of Houston Dash. We're underway at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Gotham looking to return to winning ways after that poor showing at the CONCACAF W Champions Cup in Mexico. They looked pretty unrecognisable, conceding 7 goals in 2 games there. And they are in the sky blue colours and not to their former name, as there's an early clash. And Houston in the purple kit. Now, is that a sign of things to come? Houston Dash having returned to winning ways in their last match, having gone 6 games without a win. There's high energy already. Here's Jayden Shaw, who scored in her last 3 regular season games. Jordan Dudley in the starting lineup today. I mentioned a couple of changes from the last regular season game. The one enforced with Ann-Katrin Berger out. She took a real blow to the abdomen, had to go to hospital when she was in Mexico. They're not taking any risks with her ahead of the international break when she goes away with Germany. As a lot of these players go away as well. Here's Midge Purce. Well, is that a foul by Paige Nielsen? She's pleading her innocence. An early dead ball situation for Gotham to try to capitalise on.
I don't mind it from Houston because this Gotham team wants to play and they'll get their combinations and rotations going. And so early on, setting the tone with when it comes to physicality, and Nielsen is the one to do that. I traded to Houston a few years ago and has really solidified her position as a leader on this team, especially now with the youth movement in this 2026 team.
And you saw there Guro Reiten standing over the ball. Will it be her wand of a left foot? More of an offensive player, but now playing at left back. She'll always look to go forwards where she can. And Reiten leaves it for Shaw. A good-looking delivery. Nielsen with a header. Oh, and Ullmark is clambering all over Reiten here. And Reiten saying, hang on, how come that's gone against me?
It's a good clearance from Nielsen, and I kind of agree. Reiten doesn't even try to go to the ball. And Ullmark's challenging up in the air, and she just ducks down under.
You see Jane Campbell all bandaged up. She took a cleat to the head against San Diego Wave and missed the last game, which was the win against Angel City. Now here's Kate Farsi. Now this player really is in form. Cat Raider, look out for her. Right foot, left foot. She is so eager and hungry for goals. Now Danny Colaprico. One touch passing. Oh, now they could be in here. Oh, the strike against her own player from Avery Patterson, and it came off Kate Farsi. Oh, Avery Patterson, the right back.
Well, this is a positive, the way that Houston plays. There's so many players close. They have these quick combinations, can get through the lines. It's just right off the backside of Foxy is that rocket of a shot of Patterson. She scored goals like that in numbers at UNC as a college player. Like more of an advanced role, but I like this system because it gets her into those spaces. She just hasn't found the mark quite yet this season.
Well, she hasn't scored since June of last year when she scored both for club and for country. Avery Patterson, 23 years of age till next month. She likes the month of June, doesn't she? Your birthdays. Happy birthday, Jordan Angeli, 40 years of age today. And you're celebrating with us.
I love my job. I love NWSL and what's given me. So it's a great place to be. Been in this league for a long time, so it feels right to celebrate a birthday, especially a big milestone one.
Thanks a lot. Hoping to celebrate with a few goals.
Yes,
I promised you.
They have. I feel like that's the best thing that they could do for me.
One touch from Shaw, but straight to Puntigam in midfield. Now the one-touch passing, you can see what the plan is for Houston Dash here. Even though it's absolutely the best defence in the NWSL, when they have been breached, Gotham, it has been from the transition, from being pulled apart with their fantastic central defenders that they have. Is Jess Carter of England, and this player here, Tiana Davidson, one of the 6 US women's national team selectees on the 2 rosters today. And 2 of them are on the bench for Gotham today. That is just how strong they are. With Sonnet, the central defender, and Lily Reel, also called up by Emma Hayes, but having to sit this one out on the bench for now. Now, what are your keys to the game, Jordan? Sponsored by Tylenol.
It's interesting because you're just talking about Houston, and I feel like them staying connected is already being implemented right now because those connections are so close. For Gotham, their press can be absolutely lethal. So can they press, but also when they regain the ball high up for the field, Jackie, I think they could score more goals if their placement from that final pass is a little bit more accurate. Something that Juan Carlos Amaros mentioned to us, that they had been looking at Houston and what parts of the box are a little bit more susceptible when they do break into the final third. So I just do think those 2 things for Juan Carlos Amaros's team are going to be important.
And Amaros became a father to a baby recently, so has had a little bit of time out, baby girl, I should say, having already had a baby boy. I did warn him what he had to expect, not just yet, but maybe in about 15 years' time. I think he's fully aware. Here's Colaprico, forming part of an experienced central midfield, along with the Austria captain, Sarah Puntigam. The 2 33-year-olds, surrounded by rookies. Talked about Kate Farsi out of UNC, Kat Rader as well. Out of Duke, Maggie Graham's in her 2nd year after Duke. Those 2 played together, along with the likes of Hannah Bebar, Ella Haas, and Leah Freeman, also in the league. Duke having quite an impressive programme of producing professionals, as do others. Here's Shaw, intercepted by Avery Patterson, who's had the only real chance of the game. Came off the back of her teammate Kate Farsi.
Just in their press, Houston doing something a little bit different than they've done before. They're actually going, when we showed you the lineup, it was a 4-2-2-1-1, and that 1 in the midfield is actually man marking Jalen Howe, and so they're going man for man in the midfield, and it's allowing them to win turnovers and regain the ball, which they've done a couple of times already in this game.
Colaprico coming away with the ball, but picked up by Dudley, another rookie. Dudley was caught late there. That challenge. It is quite a midfield battle, isn't it? Turnover of possession happening on a regular basis. Jordan Dudley, the 21-year-old, out of FSU. Oh, 5'11" of her.
And 5'11", but man, is she smooth when she gets the ball at her feet. Here's the look there. I think there's a foul in it, but doesn't mean that she didn't get her foot caught in the ground there. I think that's what's so deceptive of Dudley is this tall, lanky frame, and yet when she gets on the ball, she can weave through defenders with ease. She did it in college, and sometimes it doesn't translate well for her. It definitely translates.
It's Leah Cranky. Another of the rookies, Shaw. Yeah, well, Linda Allmark. Patterson, Davison showing her pace there. Tiana Davidson, who scored in the last regular season game at Seattle. All about maintaining that excellent defensive record today. Gotham have only conceded 5 goals in their 10 regular season matches, but they really were uncharacteristic in the CONCACAF W Champions Cup match, the semi-final, and then the third place playoff, losing 4-1 against Club America. Admittedly, the fourth goal shouldn't have been a penalty. It was well outside the box. Oh, where's this going from Jalen Howell? It's going for a corner.
That's exactly
under pressure.
Yeah, I know what I was talking about, because right when Jalen Howell takes that little half turn, she glimpses over her shoulder. Watch that little look right there, and she could see that Graham's coming from one side, Raiders coming from the other. And even though it's a bad pass, it's a good miss because it's not on frame. It's out of the frame of goal. You give up a corner kick, yes, but now you can regroup. This has been excellent pressure from the Dash, the early goings.
Cat Raider standing by with the corner for Houston Dash, who have come here full of confidence. Oh! And Hogan didn't get that. Right over the top of her head. And Houston Dash tails are up.
They have to be. But one thing, Jackie, they can't get through 15 minutes without getting a shot on target against Shelby Hogan, because they've been on the front foot. This is a goalkeeper who's coming, searching a little bit, wants her first touch after coming back into the net after AKB is out. And I just feel like if I'm Houston, we got to pepper her with some chances.
Peter's delivery. Oh, it's a wonderful, inviting ball, just begging a centre forward to tap it home. But it was the right back who was closest to it in Patterson, who could have scored with a header from a corner a few moments ago. Shaw back there, helping out her defence. This is good from the Dash. Positive once again. Here's Leah Plenty. Let's go.
See that girl.
Hey,
See
we're shot
that
target
girl.
distance.
Window.
This game got some real good intensity from the jump. Someone that has to do, Jackie, with the last game before the break. Both teams feel like, I think for Gotham, they want to get back on the right foot. For Houston, they want to keep this momentum going.
Oh, Dudley's on the charge here. She's got in behind the defence. Jordan Dudley going alone. And Campbell got a hand to it.
Well, Dudley and Clanky have gotten themselves in these kind of situations numerous times in the college game. Look at the amount of ground Clanky just covered to get across as the right center back all the way over to get a deflection on this. I think Campbell gets a hand on it too. Excellent defending by Leah Clanky.
End-to-end stuff. They are determined to finish with a win. Both these sides played in towards the stair. That was a lovely idea of a corner from Jaden Shaw. Now, what was the issue here? Free Joshua. What did he spot?
I gotta do this.
I think maybe a pick there by Dudley. Just trying to get Esther Gonzalez a little bit more space. A pick, in basketball where you just stand in front of somebody. I gotta get you up to speed on your basketball stats too, huh, Jackie?
I used to play netball, not quite the same thing.
See, if you gave me a netball term, it would just go in one ear and out the other. So I feel you.
Wing attack? No.
No, yeah, not familiar.
I had to play netball. We weren't allowed to play football at school. Different country, different times. Midge Purse filling in at right back due to all the injuries that Gotham have. Mandy Freeman celebrating her 10 years here. She can play there. So too various other players out due to injury. Really unfortunate timing that it's all happened at the same time.
This is good from Gotham because now with all these rotations, they're trying to make it difficult for Houston to say, okay, if that's how you're going to play centrally, we're going to switch up the players that you're seeing and the picture that you're seeing.
Oh, it's a high hanging one. Looking for Guru Wrighton from Jaden Shaw. Juan Carlos Amorós, who used to be the interim head coach of Houston Dash. Did a pretty good job with him. That's probably what got him the job here. And now he's won 2 major trophies, 2023 and last year, when they finished 8th and they stunned the runaway Shield winners, Kansas City Current, who'd finished 29 points above them. They lost at home in stoppage time at the end of extra time with a goal from Katie Stengel after a knockdown by Midge Purse. There's no Temwa Shawinga that day for the Current. There's no Michelle Cooper, but as Juan Carlos Amorós likes to point out, yeah, we didn't have Esther Gonzalez either.
Very true, very true.
It was an enormous disparity. Jalen Howell, now Purse. And here's Dudley. Oh, and 2 midfielders clattering into each other. Foul is Shapansky there. Here's Farsi, who was just caught on the turn by Davidson.
I think Houston wants to play fast. Every time the ball has stopped, gone out of play, been a dead ball, they are touching it, getting it settled, and then doing this third man runs, combinations through the heart of the midfield. Seems to be working so far, setting the tempo for a Gotham team who's pretty tired after a long week.
Linda Ulmark running into Jalen Howell. Talking of tired, she'd be forgiven if she was. She started every single game for the club this season in League and in CONCACAF W Cup, the only player to do so. Also on the roster for the US Women's National Team, and she's heading off to Brazil, which is really useful preparation for the Women's World Cup there next summer with 2 games there.
I love how the US team does that. It's such good for you mentally.
Now here's Dudley. Maggie Graham was back there. Now Purse. Back to Dudley. Dudley's delivery and away by Nielsen. Howell. Right, so what a signing she has been. Although Lily Real might not agree. She's a left back who's had a place taken, another US senior women's player who's on the bench now with Guro Wrighton playing there. Dudley's done really well. Dudley with a strike and Dudley with a goal. Perseverance from Jordan Dudley, paying dividends for Gotham.
Hard to tell she was happy after that one. She just walked it off, cool as can be. There's been a battle over on the far side for Dudley, and this is where she can excel. Gets to the ball first, but then here's that swiftness of feet. Chops it back to her left foot. Good with either foot when it comes to placing and finding the back of the net. It's a kind deflection off of her right thigh, and then there is no question asked about this. Smashing it home, near post finish, right over the head of Jane Campbell. Great work for the rookie to get her second goal of the season.
She scored away to Chicago after just 46 seconds of the game at the end of April, and now she scored against her Houston Dash in front of her home supporters. Rookie out of FSU getting the goal scoring underway here as both sides have really been going for it. Lisa Boattin is a really experienced Italian centre-half at international level, who she managed to brush her way past Jordan Dudley. Now here's Boattin looking to try and make amends. Raider. Foul by Shaw.
I think Boattin has handled Dudley pretty well through these first 18 minutes, and it was just almost a pass over top the back of the back line that was unassuming, not really expected from Boateng. So then when she's on her heels in that one moment, it's Dudley who can win the foot race to find the space in behind. Smart pass there by her teammate to recognize that Dudley could win that.
Davidson. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting throughout this game, Jordan, isn't it, to see Gotham FC playing out from the back, because that's where Houston Dash and their head coach Fabrice Couture really feels that they can get some joy.
Yeah. It's difficult when you play Gotham because if you high press and you give them space in behind, they can hurt you, but you also don't want to get them getting a rhythm and put too many players forward. So for Houston, finding that line of confrontation, and when you do sit in the mid block like they just did and let honestly Gotham cough the ball up and turn the ball over, versus those moments where you then do go instill your pressure and say, okay, we're going to go after this one, because you have to be together. I think for Houston, even right now in these moments where they give up the first goal, if they stay unified and continue to play the way that they've been playing through this first part of the game, there's goals in this game for them. They've done a really good job of playing through the lines of the field and getting numbers into the attack, but they have to stay together in that work rate.
Here's Boateng again, the Italian. By the way, it's all changed at the top of the NWSL standings after San Diego Waves' 2-0 victory away to Chicago, who are sitting second bottom. Late Trinity Byers' goal, making it 2-0, and they have gone on top ahead of Utah Royals. Something they'll be kicking themselves about covered their game yesterday, and they were leading away to Portland Thorns. It was the top two in the table. And inexplicably, goalkeeper Mandy McGlynn held on to the ball for too long, and a corner was awarded against Utah Royals. And then the loanee, Alexis Vanstra, on loan. Oh, and they could be in here with Wrighton. Wrighton finding McCaskill off Puntigan. Now Davidson. Still. They push forward for a second. Mitch Purse for Gotham. Purse going it alone. And Shaw. And Esther Gonzalez was in there as well. Really well played by Leah Krenke.
I think Houston might be playing with a little bit of fire here, just their line of confrontation, not getting pressure. So then it feels like dominoes are falling and more players from Gotham getting higher and higher into the box. That's a 2v1. I believe it gets called offside in the end by Esther Gonzalez. And Planky does a good job of cleaning up the scraps just in case it wasn't. But I do think Houston's going to have to manage when the center backs of Davidson, of Carter, and their ability to play through the lines. Can't give them all the time in the world to be the quarterbacks, because they'll find the right pass.
So it's Jordan Dudley's goal that separates these two sides. As things stand, Gotham FC with that lead, it takes them above Kansas City Current in the standings up to 5th with 21 points, which puts them level on points and games with Washington Spirit, who are in 4th. The Spirit just above Gotham on goal difference, the Current just below, also goal difference, 6 worse off than Gotham. Extraordinary to think that after 12 games, KC Current have only scored 1 more goal than they conceded, but it's been a rocky old first half of the season, but they have recovered. And now, oh, the header from Shaw. The lovely angled ball into the centre. Much appreciated by Esther Gonzalez as well.
The great
by Szczepanski.
Yeah, good third man run from Szczepanski to get into the outside channel over there. Because now with that overload, it's confusing Houston as to who gets pressure. There's none on the ball, so Szczepanski, so prolific with both feet, she just serves the ball in on a dime.
Planky finding Patterson. Out for Mark. Mark ushered out of it. Szczepanski doing well. That is Boateng finding Puntigan. Breda. Ola Prico. This is nice from the dash. On by Mark. And that was a foul on Raider.
That's quality football from the Houston Dash. One touch passing, movement precedes the pass centrally, so they can keep it going through lines. It's up, back, and throughs a couple of different times. And when that happens and you start to pull defenders out of where they get comfortable, you draw fouls. Now you can get numbers higher up on the field. They have the likes of Puntingham, Nielsen, Blanky, good targets for this ball. I think it's about who wins the second ball. Can you challenge or at least get Hogan to go fishing and try to put something on this one, get her outside of the frame of her goal?
They just had the one shot on target so far, Houston Dash. Whiting with a left foot. Raider takes it with a right. Hogan not tested. Davidson using her strength.
He just makes it so predictable. It's easy for Patterson to pick up the ball there.
In by Ullmark, looking for Farsi. Carter deals with it. Finds a former Chelsea teammate, Guru Wrighton. Davidson is sure. It's all very congested in that area. Now, this is the kind of territory that Houston Dash love to have their opponents in. Brice Gautrat.
Yeah, he'll be pleased with the pressing because Houston is doing a great job from the front to make it predictable. So if they don't win through that first line of defense, it's Patterson as an outside back or Clanky and Nielsen winning the longer passes that Gotham clears.
Gotham were the champions last year, but Houston Dash finished just 6 points behind them. 10th place to 8th. We know about the incredible run that Gotham went on in the playoffs to become champions again, just as it happened in 2023. Davidson away. Ansky finding short. Now there's space for Midge Purse to race into. Esther Gonzalez is available to her right, but she's gone to try to find left-hand side.
You know what's interesting to me, Jackie, getting this far in the game and Houston's tactic is because they play so many players centrally, they're actually attacking the best defenders of Gotham. I think they need to isolate a little bit more in the channels because you have two forwards playing as outside backs in Wrighton and Purse. And it doesn't feel like Houston has gotten themselves in very, very many situations where they're going 1v1 in the channel. If I'm Gautrat, I'm trying to switch that a little bit. Yes, play through the lines, get all your numbers on the ball centrally, but then is there an isolation you can create in the channel and get those wingers playing defense uncomfortable?
That's something we spoke to both Paige Nielsen and Fabrice Gautrat about, wasn't it? But whether that would be the case, but this is how they tend to play. Oh, a little battle there. Dudley and Nielsen, youth and experience. The goal scorer today took it all in her stride, didn't she? You didn't look that bothered about scoring a first home goal for a first professional club.
I love when new players come into the league and you get to learn a little bit about their personalities, and it kind of showed you like, all right, that's no big deal. Like, why is everybody running at me? Of course I was going to score that.
Waiting to hear if there's anything doing from VAR, but there's not.
Yeah, I think they're both battling for the ball. It's just the extra curriculars from Dudley when her arm goes up. You're going to get called for a foul. So I like that the referee played it on, but then it's the right call.
Well, on July 15th, City Field hosts the Queen's Classic as part of the NWSL Rivalry Series. Gotham FC facing the Washington Spirit in a rematch of last season's championship match. And that game scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be live on ESPN. And Ullmark looking to get in behind here. Still Linda Allmark. Oh, trying to lay it into the path of either Farsi or Raider. Managed neither in the end. Front four consist of a 21-year-old, another 21-year-old, a player who's just turned 20 in Allmark, and a veteran at 23 in Maggie Graham in her second season after leaving Duke University. They really do have pace and energy to burn. Fearless, brave,